Hi everyone, it's Carissa at Sprinkled with Glitter and I am here with a card project for you. The other day I was playing with the Shape and Tape from Lifestyle Crafts, and what this is it's washi tape, but it comes in a 6x12 sheet instead of on a roll, so you can kind of cut it into bigger shapes and stuff. And I was playing with this and I kind of found this fun little technique, kind of a peekaboo technique that I'm going to show you today. And so I am using the yellow Shape and Tape from Lifestyle Crafts, and I'm going to be using this little 3x4. This is actually a Project Life card, but I really liked the grid pattern, and because the washi tape is transparent when you get it onto the paper, I thought the added pattern was kind of cool. And then I'm also going to be using this A2 flat card. This is letterpress paper from Lifestyle Crafts, because I'm going to be blind embossing or letterpressing this piece of paper for the background as well. And I also have this cool little banner die. This is from the Tape It kit from Lifestyle Crafts. So we'll go ahead and get started. I'm going to set aside my inks, and I will start by blind embossing this piece of letterpress paper here. So I'm going to grab my letterpress tool and I'm going to show you how this works. I already actually have, this is the wood grain plate. I don't know how well you can see the pattern, but it has a wood grain pattern. And letterpress is different from embossing, because when you letterpress, normally you would use some ink on this. It's a very thick, sticky ink that you would ink this plate up and then run this through with your letterpress paper, and it presses the ink into the paper. Now, letterpress paper is very thick and cottony, so it kind of absorbs and takes that ink very well. But today I'm not going to be using ink. I'm just going to be using the letterpress plate itself and the letterpress tool to run it through my machine. So I'm just going to lay my piece of letterpress paper there face up, and I'm just going to use my plate. Now, if I was using ink and everything, I would adhere it to this top plate, but because I'm not using ink, I can go ahead and just set it down on top, and then I will run it through my Big Shot. So I'm actually just going to make sure that this is all lined up and the pattern's going to show nicely on this piece of paper, and then I will just run it through my Big Shot. So you can see, I don't know how well you can see it on camera, but I now have that wood grain pattern pressed into my paper. And so I can set this aside. Now, the other thing, I get a lot of questions about Lifestyle Crafts products and whether or not you can use them in other die cutting machines. And the answer is yes. That letterpress tool will work in the Sizzix as well as the Lifestyle Crafts Epic 6 or their new Revolution. I believe it's, no, the Evolution. And I use it in my Vagabond as well, and you can use the dies in the Cuddle Bag as well. So the next thing I'm going to do is take this piece here, and this is just the Shape and Tape. It has the backer paper on it still, and I'm going to use this die, and I'm going to run it through, and I'm just going to cut out a little piece of this here to create a place for my sentiment, because you probably could stamp on washi tape if you were using StazOn, but I'm using a dye-based ink, and so I'm just going to run this through my die cut machine and create that little space. Okay, so I've run that through my machine, and you can see here I now have two pieces, and I'm not going to get rid of this piece because I'm actually going to use it to do masking on this. So I'm going to line my piece of Shape and Tape up here before I adhere this down and just figure out where that banner needs to go. And I'm going to peel this piece off, and I'm going to stick it here on the card that I'm using. Now, this doesn't actually have to be perfect, but I want to get it where that's going to be on my card. So I have it pressed on there now, and you can see how cool that grid pattern is peeking through on the washi tape or the Shape and Tape there. And it's going to be even cooler because we're going to do some stamping on this, and that pattern is going to show through the Shape and Tape as well. We'll place this piece on a piece of scratch paper, and I'm going to be using this, let's see, All About You stamp set from Paper Tray Ink. And I'm going to be using this bold flower, and you kind of want to pick an image that's kind of bold and solid for this technique. And I'm going to ink this up in some Hero Arts Butter Bar ink. And I'm just going to stamp kind of randomly on this piece, on this card here. And I'm going to stamp purposely over the piece of washi tape that I have there because it will make the edge more defined when I go to finish the card project. And you'll see what I mean. Okay, so my flowers are stamped on there. And I am going to now carefully take this piece of Shape and Tape that's already down, and I'm going to peel it up. And because I've done this before, I know that if you can't quite get it up off of the paper, this little Cricut spatula seems to work really good to slide under and get the edge started. And then you just want to carefully pull it up. Now, because Shape and Tape is like washi, it is removable. And so you can remove it from the paper very carefully. All right. So now I have that stamped, and then this is trash because that dye-based ink will not dry on that washi tape, and it served its purpose and it's done. And now I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to line it up with that banner. The tricky part is getting this on here, and so I may have to go off camera to do this. We'll see how it goes. But what I've kind of found works best when I've done this before is just to kind of peel off the bottom part so you have the rest of this kind of covered. And then I'm going to snip off this piece of backer paper right here so it's kind of out of my way. And then I'm going to use this point as a reference here. Then I'll just lay this down. So now that you have that in place, you can kind of pull off this other backer, the rest of this backer, and then lay it down on the card. And then I'm just kind of burnishing it down. And now you can see those fun flowers peeking through and the grid pattern peeking through that washi as well. And then I'll go ahead and just clean up these edges with my scissors. Okay, and so there I have the main little focal point for my card, and I'm just going to add a sentiment to it. And I'll bring back in my scratch piece of paper. And for this sentiment, I am using the Paper Smooches Word Salad, You Are So Nice. And I'm going to ink that up in Midnight Muse ink from Stampin' Up. And just to kind of practice and make sure I have my bearings right and everything, I'm going to ink it up and stamp it on my scratch piece of paper first, because I only get one try at this right here. So I just kind of want to get it within that banner area and stamp it down. Lovely. And I'm just going to take a piece of Midnight Blue twine. This is from the Twinery. I'm going to tie it around the bottom here and just make a little bow on this right hand side. Okay, so I have my bow on there, and for now I'm just going to leave the ends a little bit long, and I will trim it when I get it onto the card base itself. And I'm just going to take this piece of letterpress paper. Now, if I would have had the letterpress fold card, I would have gone ahead and used that and just blind embossed or letterpress that. But because I don't have any of the fold cards right now, I'm just using the letterpress paper and I'm attaching it to a Nina Solar White card base. So I have that on there, and then I'm going to attach this to this card base using some dimensional adhesive. And I am using the Sticky Thumb dimensional adhesive from Lifestyle Crafts. And just to kind of help keep that bow in place, or the twine in place, I went ahead and placed my dimensional adhesive right over the top of it. And I'm just trying to decide if I want the bottom 2 corners rounded. I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to use the 1/2 inch corner punch on my We Are Memory Keepers corner chomper. And it goes through all those layers just fine. Okay, and there is my card today using the super fun and easy peekaboo washi technique. I hope you'll visit my blog. I'm going to have a bunch of projects posted over there using the shape and tape from Lifestyle Crafts and also the Tape It kit. So go ahead and check it out. And then also over at my blog, you will find a discount code to get 20% off your purchase at lifestylecrafts.com. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching.